Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and today we're going to talk about some of the storylines that come out as a result of this CDL Kickoff Classic which concluded last night. The group selection draw has concluded also, and we're going to look at exactly what the schedule looks like for the stage 1 of the season based on this group selection draw, and some of the words that Hex had to say to Hastro about Dallas Empire being scared of playing the OpTic Chicago right now. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. I'd like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Many new subscribers these past few days. Thank you very much indeed for that. As COD Gamepedia say, COD League announced the Challengers prize pool for the season. We talked about exactly what the Elite format is a few days ago, but $500,000 for the Elite, $500,000 for open events, and a little bit more pocket change for a $1.13 million prize pool in total on the Challenger side. That is pretty cool to see at the very least. Crone also talking yesterday about the stream rewards for the season, so weapon charms, emblems, calling cards, and well, XP boosts you can get for watching the stream. Not live yet though if you guys were unsure exactly why you weren't receiving these benefits. As well, Crone points out this video right here explaining exactly how to set it up. Pretty straightforward. youtube.com/account_sharing, link your Activision ID, and you will be able to get drops. But as Zav pointed out from the COD League, this is only active I believe from January the 27th. So in a few days time, at least for the start of the league, it will be possible to get some rewards going down this manner, which at least is another cool thing to incentivize people to watch. Thought this was cool from Crone. I mentioned this in yesterday's recap video as well. A year ago today, Huntsman versus the Dallas Empire. Some fireworks across the main stage, as I'm sure you guys remember. Well, Scump versus Crimsix, and that beef that they had throughout the offseason, which maybe now is cleared up. We'll have to see how this rivalry develops once again over the coming season. But we will not be seeing this matchup in their group play for the first 3 home series of the season. The first chance we're going to get to see that is then going to be at the season playoffs, or the stage playoffs at the end of stage 1. We'll look through exactly all the schedule, what exactly that's looking like, and we'll try and explain exactly how they all the pieces of the puzzle fit together in the coming minutes here. So, as COD League say yesterday, missed the group selection show. Watch as our 12 teamers picked the season starting groups and talked some trash along the way. So, it was a pretty entertaining affair right here. All the players came in, like Crimsix was at the Porsche dealership or something, so he didn't give his opinion on this. But Hastro, of course, as the reigning world champions, the Dallas Empire, get to choose their first pick to go into the Atlanta FaZe group. So, we looked at exactly how this works out a few days ago, but effectively Dallas Empire, the world champions, and Atlanta FaZe, the world championship runner-up, are the group leaders, or at least, well, the first pick or the first seed in the Group A and the Group B for the upcoming stage. And therefore, well, Dallas Empire get to choose the first team that goes up against the Atlanta FaZe. Atlanta FaZe get to choose the first team that goes up against the Dallas Empire. And understandably, Dallas Empire and Hastro decided to put OpTic Chicago after this weekend, who looked like, well, the strongest team in the game. As you can see right here, Dallas Empire and Chicago, the only 2 teams to win their matches in a 3-0 fashion. Dallas beat New York 3-0. All the other matches went to a Game 5. Atlanta FaZe even lost their match to Florida, and then Chicago kind of destroyed Los Angeles Thieves in that quick 3-0 that we looked at last night. So these look like right now the strongest teams in the game. Understandable, of course, that Dallas decided to put Chicago in Atlanta's pool. That only makes sense. But as well, Hex says in this clip we're just going to look at right here, he's telling Hastro and the rest of his guys, I suppose, that came up with this decision that, well, they're just scared of this E-Classico.
So, Dallas, you're up first. You have 2 minutes if you want it.
So we're on the clock already, huh? It's like that? Just that
you already know.
First pick in the 2021 CDL draft.
Your team already told you what to do.
How do you know? How do you know I don't get the executive decision here?
I know Crim's scared. I know Crim's scared of what's going to happen.
Oh,
he'd rather pass that on somewhere else.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out.
Let's
find out. Everybody wants to see this rivalry anyway. You know that.
E-Classical's been a thing since the beginning of time. Don't be
but we're going to have to wait for that. We're going to have to wait for that because we're sending you guys over to the other side. That's what we're doing. Dallas picks Chicago to go face off in that other group with the Tiny Terrors. So we want to see that FaZe OpTic rivalry play out in the other group for a little bit while we get
Alec, you saw that, right, Alec? You saw it coming, Alec?
I saw it coming.
So these are the final groups as they line up. So Empire chose OpTic to go in FaZe's pool, then FaZe chose Dallas or Los Angeles Thieves even to go in Dallas's pool. Then I imagine OpTic chose the Rokkr to go in this pool, Los Angeles Thieves and chose the Mutineers. Back and forth, and you can kind of see how this shaped out the fact that, well, these are power rankings effectively that the teams have decided on their own, I suppose in order from the top to the bottom. That's pretty much how people expect the power rankings to be lining up for this season. So pretty much, I suppose, as we would expect. Los Angeles Gorillas and Seattle Surge down here at the bottom at the present time. But yeah, these are pretty interesting pools. Intrigued to hear your opinion on exactly which is the group of death here. Personally, I think it's probably Group B. I mean, Atlanta, FaZe, OpTic, Chicago, Florida Mutineers looked very good up against FaZe. Ultra looked really solid up against the Rokkr, to be honest. Paris Legion looked pretty good, like they could be competitive. Los Angeles Guerrillas seem a relatively disciplined team. I imagine maybe these squads don't quite have the slaying power to compete with some of these top tier teams, but I think Group B is going to be a very fun group to keep your eyes on. Group A as well is pretty solid, but some of these teams I imagine they're going to improve over time. I think that Seattle probably should improve as time goes forward. I think the same with New York, hopefully the same with London when Zero gets out there, right? So maybe that will be the case for the start of the season. I think if this was a group like a few months down the line, this could actually be a very competitive pool. But for now, it seems like it's pretty clear cut that Empire, Los Angeles Thieves and Minnesota Rokkr should be the strongest teams. But well, we didn't see too much from Los Angeles Thieves yesterday, and who knows exactly how they are facing up against a squad like the Minnesota Rokkr, where only the top team from each pool gets the double bye in the championship bracket, as we're going to look at here in just a second. So this is how it breaks down in terms of what matches are going to be on display over these first few weekends. So this is how it breaks down if you guys aren't fully familiar. This is the Atlanta home series, as they're calling it, which effectively is just pool play matches. So this is how the schedule works every single week for the entirety of the season. Thursday, Friday, there's 2 games, 3 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Eastern, or 4:30 p.m. Eastern on both Thursday and Friday. Then there's another match tapped onto the end on Saturday, Sunday, just like we had this weekend. So this is the first week of the season, definitely some spicy ones here. I mean, Royal Raven Surge, Empire, Rokkr, FaZe, OpTic to finish off the Sunday. So Sunday the 14th, that's probably going to be the biggest match of the season so far. And Empire going to have, well, they're going to be playing Los Angeles Thieves in just a second, as we will be looking at. So every team plays every other team in their group in a single round robin type fashion over these 3 weeks. So then we've got Stage 1, Week 2. This doesn't have a team attached to it. So this isn't like a home series or whatever that has any branding. It's just like a Call of Duty League branding or something like that. So if you guys would like to pause the video to find when your favorite teams are matching up, feel free to do so. And then the final one, Stage 1, Week 3, the final home series of the lead up, then Empire versus Thieves is the final match of this one. OpTic versus Mutineers, also going to be an entertaining one. Then we go into the major tournament right at the end of the month. We'll have a look at exactly how the how the format works for the entire season here in just a second. But the major tournament works like this. The first place in Group A and Group B goes all the way to round 2. This is just like the World Championship last year, where the top 2 teams get a bye to the point where they only need to win their round 2, their winners finals, and then the tournament finals to actually win the tournament here. But of course they have earned it, given they've won all those home series, you would imagine, over the previous couple of weeks. There are no winners of these home series, right? It is just league matches or group matches effectively, but well, they still count for something pretty significant. Second and third in the groups then get into the winners bracket as well from both sides, and then down in the elimination bracket, if you come 4th, 5th or 6th in your group, you will start from the losers bracket. So you definitely need to place pretty well in these matches to get yourself a good seeding and have a good chance of winning the major tournament. So all things considered, it makes a decent amount of sense. There is a question as to whether, okay, if you come from the elimination finals into the tournament finals, what advantage do you give to the winners finals team? I think at the World Championship it was a 1-map advantage in a best of 11, but are they going to do that this time around? Who really knows exactly what route they decide to go for? But well, we'll have to see how things develop going forwards. Now, this is the full schedule as Chrome tweets out for all 5 of the stages. So this is the entirety of the season. They announced everything where everything is going to be, apart from, of course, the World Championship. They never seem to announce that until very much closer to the time. But well, the World Championship actually might be earlier than last year. So as you can see right here, these are the home series. These are, well, for the seeding for the major, as we just looked at. Atlanta FaZe home series, then we've got 2 Call of Duty League ones which don't belong to any particular team. Then the major on March the 1st. So the week of the March the 1st, that is when the Stage 1 major is going to happen. Then we get effectively 2 weeks off. Then the league starts again on March the 18th, goes through the Stage 2, then Stage 3, then Stage 4, then Stage 5, as you can see right here. So effectively a 6-month season, February, March, April, May, June, July. Well done, Rab. You can remember what order the months go in. But then the question is, okay, the week of July 19th, that's a Stage 5 major, finishes shortly after this. And then, okay, after everything is done, then we will have the season standings based on the points that teams have accrued from these matches. So I'm pretty sure every match you win in the home series, you get some degree of points. Then where you place in the major event, you get some degree of points. And at the end of the season, there will then be a standings from all the majors and the home series that will then seed the playoffs bracket. Only the top 8 teams in the league go to the playoffs this time around. Last season, it was meant to be 8. They dropped it all the way to 12, allowing every team to go because everything had to go online and it wasn't ideal for a number of those teams. So everything last season, well, all 12 teams were in attendance at the World Championship. This time around, it seems like only 8 teams will be there, probably seeded in a pretty similar bracket to what we've seen back in like the Call of Duty World League days, where it's probably just a double elimination affair amongst the best teams in the game. But the question is, okay, okay, the season stage 5 finishes on July the 19th, or at least the week of July the 19th, and last season the World Championship was August the 29th through the 30th, so it seems like this year the World Championship is actually going to be earlier than it was last time around, which may be somewhat frustrating to us, right, given we had a pretty long off-season this time around. Last season we had the launch weekend at a similar time to what we just had, but well, there were many months off without any Call of Duty from right at the end of August all the way to the, well, pretty much the end of January, right? So next season, if the World Championship again is sometime like the middle of August, then the Rostermania period comes as a result of that. Who knows exactly what happens there, but yeah, then hopefully at some point during the off-season we do get maybe a shorter off-season when the game comes out slightly earlier, or at least the league starts in early January as opposed to early February next time around. It feels to me like you could just fit in a stage 6 here, right? In theory, just chuck a stage 6 in, and then that would probably be a better length of a season in my opinion than having it go from February to, well, mid-August sometime. It's probably not as long as I would like it. In an ideal world, I think we have like an 8-month season and then a 4 months off season at the very least, and then, well, we get back into matches as soon as we can. That's probably the ideal, but still I do think this format that we've looked at today is certainly a step in the right direction. Also, to mention really quick, as Mr. X says, it was so fun to return to the COD League this weekend for the Kickoff Classic. I want to give a shout out honestly to Miles and Chance, absolutely crushing it on the broadcast. They casted every single series. They must have been like, yeah, why have the league not sorted out these contracts with Merc and Maven yet? So we have to sit there casting every single one of these matches. But they killed it, to be honest, and I imagine when the league does begin, Merc and Maven will be contracted and everything will be ready to go. But it does really make me wonder why things take this long. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Which group do you think is the group of death? Are, well, Dallas Empire correct to put OpTic in Atlanta FaZe's group, or are they somewhat scared of this matchup, as Hex was implying? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.